The towering steel gates of Naval Air Station Coronado gleamed beneath the warm California sun like a barrier no one dared challenge. The sharp temps of jet fuel blended with the salty ocean air, a scent so familiar to anyone who had ever lived among aircraft and war. Just beyond the gate stood a lone woman who seemed strangely out of place and yet completely at home. Her flight jacket was worn thin, its patches stitched so many times they looked older than the base itself. Dust-stained boots told stories of distant deserts and forgotten battlefields. She met the armed guards without fear, her storm-gray eyes holding memories they could never begin to understand. "Ma'am, can't go any farther," one of the younger guards said carefully. "Your clearance expired 6 years ago." She didn't argue. She didn't plead. She only tightened the strap of the duffel on her shoulder and turned slightly away, as if she had already expected this. Before she could take another step, a commanding voice cut across the tarmac. "Stand down." The guards snapped to attention as a tall officer approached, his uniform heavy with medals. Rear Admiral Charles J. Mallory walked with the kind of authority that made the air feel tighter around him. When he stopped in front of the woman, his gaze hardened. "You have a lot of nerve coming back here," he said sharply. "I'm not here to cause trouble," she replied quietly. "I just want to see the memorial, then I'll leave." His shadow fell over her as he stepped closer. "Whatever you were, you're not part of this Navy anymore. You're not part of this base. Go." A flicker of something painful crossed her face, but it vanished just as quickly. "Yes, sir." The Admiral nodded to the guards, escorted her off the property. The gates slammed shut behind her with the cold finality of a verdict. She paused only once, then walked down the road, calm and steady. None of them knew that behind that quiet exterior lived a legend, a name whispered in cockpits and battlefields long ago. Valkyrie, a call sign believed to be buried in distant skies over Kandahar, Mosul, and black oceans of war. 10 minutes later, the base erupted. Sirens screamed. Red lights flashed. Unidentified aircraft approaching from the west. All squadrons scramble. Jets roared to life as crews rushed into chaos. Admiral Mallory barked orders, but for a brief moment, his eyes drifted toward the empty road beyond the gates. He remembered a voice from years ago that could steady. A battlefield with a single word. The woman was already far enough away that the alarms blended with the sound of waves. But a crackling radio and a parked military jeep caught her ear. A panicked young pilot's voice broke through the static. "Command. This is Eagle 2. I've got multiple lock-on warnings. I need backup. I need backup." Her steps stopped. Without hesitation, her hand grabbed the mic. Her voice became something else entirely: sharp, steady, unstoppable. "Eagle 2, this is Valkyrie. Brake left, 60 degrees. Now, don't think. Move." Every open channel fell silent. The name hadn't been heard in years, yet it hit the air like thunder. The pilot obeyed, narrowly dodging a missile that streaked past his tail, then the control tower. Admiral Mallory went pale. Seals on the tarmac froze. "Did he just say Valkyrie?" one whispered. A veteran dropped his helmet. "She's alive." Men who had faced death without fear stood straight and saluted the sky. Not the Admiral, not the base. Her voice continued, guiding the pilot with deadly precision. "Stay tight. We'll split in 30 seconds. Let them come to you. Enemy." Drones and fighters tore through the sky, overwhelming the defenders. One jet went down. Another barely stayed airborne. Mallory turned to his chief, desperate. "We need her." The words burned, but he knew they were true. "Get her a jet." At the far end of the runway, a long, silent hangar opened. Inside rested an F-22 Raptor marked with the wings of Valkyrie. She was already there, climbing into the cockpit as if she had never left it. The engines ignited, and moments later she was airborne. What followed was not a battle. It was devastation. She tore through the swarm with perfect control, missiles and guns striking with lethal elegance. Every maneuver saved another pilot. Every explosion reminded the enemy why her name had once haunted their skies. "Bogey on." "You're 6, Eagle 2 warned." "I see him," she replied calmly. "Not for long." The enemy jet vanished in a burst of fire. Together they cleared the sky until nothing hostile remained. "Base command," Valkyrie said softly. "Airspace secure." Silence followed, then rows of Navy SEALs raised their hands in solemn salute. Admiral Mallory stepped forward as her jet touched down. When she climbed out, he returned the salute not as a superior, but in respect. She nodded once, then turned away, her duty complete, and once more the legend known as Valkyrie walked back into the unknown, leaving only whispers and awe behind her.